Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Lasham Daily Briefing for Wednesday, the 18th of September, 2024. So the synoptic situation, and this is as of midnight last night. High pressure still just northern Europe is holding off all these cold fronts, all these fronts associated with the low pressure systems that are coming through the Atlantic. And if I run this forward for midday today, you can see we're still under the influence of this high pressure. The fronts are well to the north, very, very strong winds actually out in the North Sea there. But where we are at the moment, we're going to be a pretty slack easterly flow across the southern part of the country. And this high pressure is literally, if we look at it for the next 2 or 3 days, is definitely keeping them low fronts away. So this is midday tomorrow. And if I go through to Friday, so that that high pressure system is definitely keeping them fronts well to the north of us. Spot winds indicating between 080 and 060, 15 knots in the north part of the country and 30 knots to the south. And here's the problem we have at the moment. This um, sea cloud that's come in off the North Sea. It often comes in with a northeasterly, but it will burn away. You can see it's burning away from the south coast fairly quickly now. So it should clear here around about 10:30, 11 o'clock, and then we should have a nice bright day for the afternoon. No rain at all in the south part of the country, as you'd expect. And if I run through the prediction rainfall forecast, we have nothing all the way through the day, which is fine. Local forecast then is giving clear skies from about 11:30 onwards. Winds northeasterly 10 knots. I've highlighted the gusts again here. I'm not quite sure why we're going to get them gusts, but I have highlighted the forecast gusts that may cause us a problem later on and may mean we might have to change runs, but I'll cover that later. GFS is indicating max temperature today 23 with a dew point down at 13. View outside the window at the moment. This overcast cloud is thinning and should clear in the next hour or so. And our temperature at the moment is here now 14 degrees, dew point down at 12. And you can see the just temperatures and dew points gently rising. Okay, so Odium is indicating 9 knots from the northeast with broken clouds at 1,200 feet. And their TAF is saying 6 knots from the northeast, few clouds at 1,600 foot, and broken clouds at 1,600 foot with a 30% probability of between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock this morning, scattered clouds at 1,400. And Farnborough is similar, 8 knots from the northeast, broken clouds at 1,500. And temporarily between 7 o'clock and 10 o'clock, broken clouds at 1,200 feet. So they both agree. Top Met indicating it's a rubbish day for flying cross country today. And if I run through the thermal prediction for today, it's 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Blue thermals for about 2,500, 3,000 foot, perhaps, maybe 3,000 in the middle of the afternoon, and then dying away pretty quickly. So locally soarable. Sky Sight has got pretty low cloud base for a while, and the local forecast is indicating that we're going to have blue thermals up until about 3,000 foot. Possible a few bits of Q this afternoon, but probably quite unlikely. Otherwise, clear above, and winds 12 knots from about 060, 070. And say we may have to change a little bit later. NOTAMs, so the usual NOTAMs I've got here, 23 is Barton Stacey, 24 is Rushmore flares, so they're fine flares this evening, don't worry about them. 27 and 28 are all to do with ash ranges. There's two there, one is surface to 1,300 and one is surface to 850 feet. I think the 1,300 one is not active for today, although it was yesterday, it will be tomorrow. Okay, 30 is Blackwater parachute illuminations this evening. Frimley is flares this evening, 31. 32 is for UAS only over Virginia Water. And 29 is Uphaven telephone change. 40 and 41 are usual Upmore and Western on the green. So operationally then today, so Cross section is indicated as low cloud. We see it about 1,500 feet, and that's going to clear by, it's saying here, by about 10 o'clock. But it's definitely going to be clear this afternoon. Wind's going to be 060, thereabouts, 10 knots or so, perfect visibility, and freezing levels up at 11, 12,000 feet. So no notified movements as of yet. This overcast at 600 foot for the morning should clear with blue skies this afternoon or later on today. Winds northeasterly all day. We'll set up on 09 draw operation. We may have to move on to 05 if the crosswind is too much. I don't like 05, I have to say, but if we're forced into doing it, we're going to have to do it. Weak thermals for 3,000 foot in the blue this afternoon. We have 5K21s, 3K13s available, 2K21s on the booking system, Jim Gavin and Michael Truelove. 1K13 is on the booking system with Chris Gibson and Susie Grove to get a white card all signed off. K21 on the course with Mike Birch. 1K13 on trial flights all day. That'll either be Phil or Anne. All single seaters are otherwise booked. Remaining K13s and K21s available for the casual list. Another reminder about the buggies, please. Not insured for people not in seats, so no passengers on the rear, and the simulator is serviceable and available. Pictorial of the list. So Chris Gibson with Susie with a K13, Jim Gavin and Michael Truelove got students all day. Discus is all booked. SH6 and SH8 booked. SH6 isn't booked this morning, so Chris Hyatt, if you're around, you'll need to get it out. Otherwise, all other gliders are booked. And we have 4 or 5 people on the casual list, so we might need an instructor or 2 if you're available perhaps later on. So we're going to set up initially on 09, usual launch point, winds to the south, airtow to the north, gentle northeasterly flow. Be wary, please, about the disused runways. Don't cross them on the ground. It's always a problem when we're landing on 09, okay? So unless you're fairly close to the runway, plan to be well on the ground before or land in the middle or afterwards. Instructors, please take over if there's any chance that you're going to be on the ground rolling over this disused runway. It's just eating up main wheels at £600 a time. Worst cases, we have to move on to 05, and I hope we don't. We'll be winching down the far bottom end. Airtow will either be to the left, depending on the state of the grass there, or we'll move the airtows across to 09 for the odd airtow we may have to do. All right, then, I'll see you out on the field shortly, and speak to you again tomorrow, if not before. Bye.